Kimberley Walsh, thank you so much for joining us on Plan B today.
Hi.
You've released your own book called A Whole Lot of History. Was it refreshing for you to write a book with your own stories rather than have to read the made-up stories in the tabloids?
Yeah, exactly. I think, the nice thing about doing a book, and I think why it appeals to a lot of people, is that you do get to just write, from the heart, your journey, I guess. And, it was my story, and everybody's got different interpretations of the last few years, but that's obviously the way it was to me.
Going back to the very beginning, you were really lucky because you almost didn't actually make it into the band.
Yeah, I know. It was a really strange thing. I think even when I was told, obviously that I hadn't made the final 10,
Yeah.
I went back to work, went back to my waitressing job, went back to uni and all of, went back to normality. But I think there was always a part of me that kind of felt like, I don't know, like it wasn't right.
Yeah.
And, you get those feelings sometimes in life, and that was one of them. And then, sure enough, it all turned itself around.
Even if you didn't make it into this band, you were always going to be in this business, weren't you? Because I can't believe there's a lot of things that we didn't know about you. We always thought it was all about Girls Aloud, but you were in this business from about the age of 5.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, that was one of the reasons why I think I felt I wanted to write the book, because I do think, a lot of people think you just turned up for that one audition for Girls Aloud and that was it,
Yeah.
And I obviously started at the age of 5, and I've been working and training and auditioning ever since, and I've worked for my whole life really in this industry, and I wanted people to kind of understand how hard it actually is, and how much work you do have to put in, and the dedication and the sacrifices that you do have to make. You can't expect to just get you 2 minutes of fame that quickly.
When you write a book like this, Kimberley, you have to be really honest. So were you nervous about how people would react? And when I say people, I mean some of your band members even.
Yeah, I think, again, when you start to write something, you think, maybe I won't kind of be truly honest. And then actually when you get into it and you're trying to tell your story, you have to be. It's like if you're not honest, then the whole book just seems pointless, really, because you want people to understand how it was for you. And I wanted people to understand why things kind of came to an end, and just understand really where we were coming from, because I know a lot of the fans were really upset that Girls Aloud had finished, but I wanted them to know that for us it felt right, and that, 10 years is a long time to be in a group, with 4 other girls, and for me it was the perfect time to call it a day, I guess.
What was the hardest thing about being in Girls Aloud? Because, from the outside, Kimberley, looks glamorous, looks fun, you get made up, you're on stage with your best friends. But at the end of the day, it is work, isn't it?
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong, that side of it, is very much there. We loved performing live together. That was one of our favourite things. And, the glamour, you can start to take for granted, but it is amazing. You get to do things you could never get away with doing in any other walk of life, and we appreciate that. But I think the hardest thing probably was just kind of not necessarily being on the same page as everybody all the time. Just stupid things that can kind of, cause small tensions, I guess, on a daily basis, just like lateness and just, things that in any normal job, any normal walk of life would annoy you as well. Nothing major, but you just kind of, like with any job, if you work in an office with 4 other people, you're going to, get on better and be on a level with some girls more than others. And that's all I was really trying to get across in the book.
Have you spoken to Nadine since you've released the book?
And I haven't, no. But I did send her the book to read and stuff. Yeah. And I think, I've seen that she's spoken about it in a few interviews, and she doesn't seem to be upset by anything in there. I think she knows. I obviously made any issues that are in the book were made clear to her at the time and stuff. It's just hard to explain the story without kind of explaining the relationships as well.
Talking about relationships, you're in Ireland, so I have to ask about Louis Walsh. What happened there?
Yeah.
And do you guys still speak to each other when you see each other? Are you civil?
Yeah, do you know what? It's quite funny because obviously I did think that he probably wouldn't be too happy, even though I know that we've spoken about it together in the past, and I know that he's completely admitted his kind of shortfalls in that area. But I've never held a grudge. It's a long time ago. It's relevant to the story of the band and how hard it was for us in the beginning. But I don't hold any major grudge towards him now. But I wasn't sure what he was going to be like. But I saw him the other week at the Pride of Britain, and he just literally came over and gave me a massive hug and was like, it's fine. I get it. And, I really like you. And from his point of view, he's totally fine. So, we just kind of let bygones be bygones.
Oh, that's nice. And finally, it's so refreshing to see, Kimberley, that you have managed to have your career, but be with your boyfriend as well for 10 years. How? And not always appear in the tabloids.
Yeah, I feel really fortunate, that I've had that. I think a lot of it's down to the type of person that he is. I think he's such a strong character within himself, but he's not bothered about being involved in this industry at all. He's really happy to kind of take a backseat and just support me from the sidelines, and he's made that side of my life so much easier, and having that kind of constant throughout this whole experience has been really amazing for me, I guess.
And finally, Kimberley, what is next for you? Do you think we might see some more collaborations, maybe not as Girls Aloud, but maybe with Nicola or with Cheryl, or do you want to now just carve your own path?
I don't think I'll be working with any of the other girls anytime soon. I mean, I wouldn't say never. I'd absolutely love to work with Cheryl and Nicola at some point, because we still have that amazing chemistry together. So there may be some capacity that we can work together, in the future, but not anytime soon. I think it's about now just kind of taking a breather and just deciding what actually makes me happy. And for me, I really loved the West End. I loved the dancing when I did Strictly. I loved that.
You were fabulous.
Now I really want to do a bit more of that, a bit more of the live show, jazz hands performance. So I'm looking at more West End and different show ideas. I just want to do things that I really enjoy now, and it's more about kind of challenging myself.
Well, Kimberley, we're looking forward to seeing what lies ahead for you in this next chapter in your life.
Thank you.